All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have a Houston Rocket video. Love making these. I want to remind you guys, though, I literally post several Rocket videos a day on my Rockets Daily channel. The link is in the bio. Let's talk some John Wall here. Let's talk some John Wall. Finally, oh my goodness gracious, it took, I guess it didn't take that long. It took like a month and a half. No, it's been like 2 months. We've been wondering, when is John Wall going to get traded? When is John Wall going to get bought out? Are the Rockets going to play John Wall? There's just been so many questions. And recently, with the reports that the New York Knicks they're looking to trade, possibly looking to trade Kemba Walker. Obviously, the Houston Rockets are a match. Bleacher Report today dropped a couple of blockbuster trades. I can't wait. Oh my God, I can't wait to look at these blockbuster trades Bleacher Report's recommending. But if you guys subscribe to the channel, if you're new here, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for 9,000 subscribers. We're already at 9,030. So trying to hit 10,000 by the end of the year, but unless a video gets 50,000 views, I don't know if it's necessarily possible, but thank you guys to all my followers, all my subscribers. Thank you guys for continuing to support. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel. But John Wall, it's just a really interesting situation. I still can't believe that all these Rocket fans want John Wall to play. What do you? Jeez, sorry, excuse me. I just can't talk about John. When I start thinking about keeping John Wall and playing John Wall, my body just disagrees with it so strongly. He's 31. The Rockets are what, 5-16, and we're not winning the NBA Finals this year. I still have people in the comment section where they're like, "Let's play John Wall. Let's try and win the Finals." I'm like, I look at that. I'm like, what? Have you watched the Phoenix Suns this year? Have you watched the Golden State Warriors? Have you watched the Bucks? Have you watched the Nets? We're not quite on that level. Good news is we'll be on that level soon. But with John Wall, I'm looking at him. I'm looking at a 31-year-old man who's getting paid $90 million for the next 2 years. If John Wall was on a Kemba Walker-esque contract, this would be a totally different conversation. But he's not. He's paid like a top 5 player in the NBA. And as much as I love John Wall, for some reason people don't think I love John Wall. I love John Wall. He's a superstar stud. He still has gas left in the tank. And he's extremely useful. Like a team like the Knicks, a team like the Clippers, they would really, really be smart to utilize a guy like John Wall because he has plenty of gas left in the tank. 20.7 assists for him last season. And that was coming off an injury where he hadn't played basketball in over 2 years. I can't even imagine what John Wall would produce for a fully healthy John Wall who has been grinding every single day. I can't even imagine what that would do for a team like the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, if you guys have been subscribed to me for a while, you know usually I like to go into these trades without looking at them. So I have yet to actually look at this trade, but I do know that it's involved, or I at least know one of the 2 trades involved is with the Los Angeles Clippers. So let's take a look here. I imagine it's just not going to be great, but all right. Dallas takes a medium-sized swing. Wow, that's Dallas. All right, I guess we got a Dallas. Wow, we have a Dallas Mavericks trade in here. There's no John Wall in this trade. All right, anyway. Eric Gordon and Daniel House Jr. for Willie Cauley-Stein, Josh Green, Dwight Powell, and a 2021 first-round pick, top 7 protected. Yeah, I'd do that trade. Moving on, because we're not here to talk about Daniel House and Eric Gordon trades. I know it's here at the bottom. All right, John Wall ends up in LA. Yep, this is the one I saw on Twitter. All right, the Houston Rockets receive Eric Bledsoe, Serge Ibaka, Luke Kennard, and the Los Angeles Clippers receive Houston Rocket point guard John Wall. Looking at this right out of the gate, obviously, the Clippers preferably, I would imagine, would not want to give up 3 pieces for John Wall. But as we alluded to earlier in the video, John Wall is paid over $40 million this season, and he's paid over $45 million next season. So if you're trading for John Wall, you got to match the salaries. And I think it's pretty evident that's why John Wall has not been traded. You saw Russell Westbrook for John Wall swap last season, but obviously the Rockets, they still had James Harden. They were honestly thinking John Wall and James Harden would be a better duo than Russell Westbrook and James Harden, which I wholeheartedly agree with. The Rockets last year to start the season were not looking that bad, and I've got opinions on James Harden. I'm rooting for James Harden, rooting for the best. I hope he gets a championship this year. I'm not necessarily rooting for the Brooklyn Nets, but I'm definitely not rooting for the Brooklyn Nets. So good luck to James Harden, but obviously that whole last year was kind of a mess. Eric Bledsoe, Serge Ibaka, those two guys would get bought out immediately. There's no reason at all actually to have those two guys. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of concern because when we brought in guys like Avery Bradley last year, we didn't really need to have Avery Bradley on the team last year. Last year's roster was just so dysfunctional. The season. Not even the Houston Rockets season because it was dysfunctional, but the whole NBA season last year, especially at the start with COVID, with injuries, it was so hectic. It was so dysfunctional. But I look at this trade, and I look at a guy like Luke Kennard, who the Rockets desperately could use a cat like that. I mean, Luke Kennard, and keep in mind, my family, my grandparents are from Chapel Hill. They live in Chapel Hill, so I'm a huge North Carolina guy. I'm a huge Duke guy as far as college basketball goes because when I grew up, those were the two teams that I watched the most, like religiously, like every single game, all the way up until I was in college. So I look at a guy like Luke Kennard who played for my Duke Blue Devils, and I'm like, yes, please. Now, Luke Kennard, he gets paid a lot of money. The thing is, that's the future of the NBA. You're going to be getting contracts where some of these guys are getting $15 million. Some of these guys are getting $20 million. Luke Kennard, Aaron Gordon. Some people look at these trades and they're like, or some people look at these signings and they're like, that is way too much money. It's the future of the NBA. The future of the NBA. I mean, contracts, they're just going to continuously to go up. So I'm not worried at all about Luke Kennard's contract for that reason. And then also, the Houston Rockets aren't in a position where they're necessarily like fighting desperately to get big name free agents. If that's going to happen, I highly doubt it'll be this next year. Maybe they go for like one younger star type player, but like that would be absolutely max. So I look at a guy like Luke Kennard. He would provide instant help, whether it's coming off of the bench, whether it's coming from starting. I would imagine he would be coming off the bench. He would do wonders for the bench. Now, how would it fit? I'm not very sure. That's the whole issue I have with this trade is Luke Kennard is a guard. That rhymes. It's kind of funny. Bench unit. DJ Augustine. Please get him off the roster. But anyways, Josh Christopher, Armani Brooks. Outside of DJ Augustine, the Rockets don't really have like a true backup point guard outside of DJ. So Luke Kennard, he would only just kind of congest the whole bench as far as guard situations. But to get John Wall off the roster, to just finally be done with John Wall, I think this trade would be worth it. It's obviously not what a lot of Rockets fans are probably looking for because you're going to buy out Serge. You're going to buy out Eric Bledsoe. You're going to buy him out. You're going to buy him out. That's the reality of the situation. So it's kind of like a John Wall, Luke Kennard swap, which sounds horrible. But you put it in the details, you throw in the details, and it does start to make a little bit more sense. So this is a tough trade, but every trade with John Wall is going to be tough. It's not going to be ideal for Houston Rocket fans. It's never going to be perfect. Luke Kennard, the good news is that's a tradable contract. As fat as his contract is, he's a three-point shooter. He's a good three-point shooter. He can do things outside of three-point shooting, but we're in that era right now of the NBA where every single team could use a lethal, elite three-point shooter, just a consistent three-point shooter. So that's kind of the good news is he's a tradable guy, Luke Kennard. Teams would be open to having Luke Kennard. Now, granted, he'd have to play to the proper standards. So this trade, it's a little tough. I would love to hear from you guys down below in the comment section if you would accept this trade one last time. Eric Bledsoe, Serge Ibaka, and Luke Kennard for the Houston Rocket, John Wall. Drop a comment down below. If you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button. As always, hit the like button, drop a comment, and I'll see you guys later.